Hey guys, it's time for another fascinating adventure into the mysteries of the ancient world. Imagine this. It's a dark and chilly night, thousands of years ago, when the moon is barely casting a sliver of light over the vast, untouched landscape. In the distance, you hear it, the haunting howl of a wolf, echoing through the silent night. But here's the twist. This wolf isn't just howling in the wild. It's lingering close to a human campsite. What's going on here? Why would a fierce predator like a wolf dare to approach the fire and the people it should fear? Is it just hungry? Or is there something more to this story? Strap in, because we're about to dive deep into the curious case of how wolves, those notorious creatures of the night, became not just neighbors, but partners to our ancient human ancestors. It's a tale filled with intrigue, survival, and maybe even a little bit of mutual respect. Let's uncover the secrets together. All right, my curious friends, you're in for a treat. Today we're not just talking about any old history lesson. We're delving into one of those obscure but mind-blowing facts that'll make you look at the animal world in a whole new light. You see, most people think of wolves as solitary, scary beasts that lurk in the shadows. But what if I told you that there's a side to these creatures that's been overlooked for centuries? A side that involves a unique bond with early humans. A bond that's not just about survival of the fittest, but about cooperation and even friendship. Get ready to have your preconceptions challenged as we explore the unlikely alliance between ancient humans and the wolves that eventually became our loyal canine companions. This isn't your typical History Channel stuff. This is the kind of knowledge that'll have you nodding in awe and sharing it with all your friends. So, are you ready to learn something that'll make you see the world a little differently? Let's dive in. Back in the day, when our ancient human ancestors roamed the earth, life was no walk in the park. Imagine waking up every morning in a world where your survival depended on your wits, strength, and a whole lot of luck. These early humans lived in a harsh, unforgiving environment, relying on hunting and gathering to scrape by. They wandered through dense forests, rugged mountains, and vast plains, always on the lookout for food. Hunting was a risky business, as they had to chase down swift animals like deer and gazelle, hoping not to become someone else's dinner. Just think about it, going up against a wild boar, with nothing but a sharp stone and a wooden spear. Talk about a daunting task, and that's not even the worst of it. At night, they huddled around fires, not just for warmth, but for protection. You see, the darkness was filled with all sorts of terrifying creatures, saber-toothed tigers, with their massive fangs, lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce. Not to mention packs of hyenas, with their creepy laughter that sent shivers down your spine. These ancient humans were constantly on edge, living in a state of perpetual danger. It's amazing they managed to survive and thrive in such a hostile world. But survive they did, adapting and evolving, paving the way for the human civilization we know today. Pretty impressive, right? While ancient humans were struggling to survive, their neighbors, the wolves, had their own set of challenges. Wolves are incredible creatures, known for their intelligence, strength, and most importantly, their pack mentality. These furry predators roamed the wild in tightly knit packs, led by an alpha pair. Life in the pack was all about hierarchy and cooperation. Each wolf had its place, from the dominant decisions to the lower-ranking members who helped with the hunting and child-rearing. Their survival depended on their ability to hunt effectively. Wolves are master hunters, targeting everything from deer and elk to smaller prey like rabbits and rodents. They'd work together, communicating with howls, barks, and body language to coordinate their attacks. It was a beautiful display of teamwork and strategy. But the wolf's world wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. They faced competition from other predators, like bears and big cats, who were also after the same prey. It was a constant battle for resources, with each pack fighting to claim its territory and ensure its survival. In this harsh natural world, every meal was hard-earned and every victory celebrated. The wolves, with their resilience and adaptability, managed to carve out a niche for themselves, becoming an integral part of the ecosystem. It's no wonder that, despite their fierce reputation, they were able to form a unique bond with ancient humans. Two species united by the struggle to survive in a challenging world. In the ancient world, where survival was a daily struggle, every little bit counted. And when it comes to food, it was a precious resource that both humans and wolves were constantly seeking. You see, ancient human campsites were like little magnets for hungry animals. These early humans, after a successful hunt, would bring back their kills, and there was always bound to be some leftovers. bones with bits of meat still clinging to them, scraps of flesh, and even the occasional uneaten carcass. This was like a feast waiting to happen for wolves. Wolves, being the clever creatures they are, would have quickly picked up on this. Their sense of smell is incredible. They can detect scents from miles away. So, imagine a pack of wolves on the hunt for food, catching a whiff of that delicious human leftovers. It would be like ringing a dinner bell for them. They'd follow their noses, drawn to the campsite by the irresistible scent of food. At first, they might have been cautious, lurking in the shadows, watching from a distance. But as they realized that these humans weren't a direct threat, and that there was food to be had, they started getting bolder. They'd creep closer, perhaps taking a chance, and snatching a bone or two when the humans weren't looking. Over time, this became a regular occurrence. The wolves learned that hanging around human campsites meant an easier meal, and they started associating humans with food. It was a simple but powerful motivator that brought these fierce predators closer to our ancient ancestors. Kind of like how your dog follows you around when they smell food, but on a much wilder scale. And it's not just about the food itself. For wolves, food means survival, and in a harsh environment where every meal is a struggle, having a reliable source of food was a huge advantage. By associating with humans, wolves were able to reduce the energy they spent on hunting and increase their chances of survival. It was a mutually beneficial relationship, at least from the wolf's perspective. The humans got some extra protection, and the wolves got a more consistent food supply. Pretty clever, right? In the ancient world, danger was everywhere. For both ancient humans and wolves, life was a constant battle for survival, and they shared a common enemy. Large predators, like saber-toothed tigers, bears, and packs of hyenas. These creatures were fierce and powerful, posing a significant threat to both humans and wolves. Take the saber-toothed tiger, for example. With its massive fangs and incredible strength, it was a terrifying predator. A single human or wolf wouldn't stand a chance against it, but together, they had a fighting chance. You see, when faced with a common threat, even the unlikeliest of allies can come together. Wolves, with their intelligence and pack mentality, would have recognized the value of teamwork in facing such threats. And humans, with their tools and fire, offered a level of protection and defense that wolves alone couldn't provide. So it's possible that when these large predators were around, wolves started to seek out human campsites for safety. Imagine a pack of wolves on the run from a hungry bear. They'd hear the roaring of the bear in the distance, and their instincts would tell them to find shelter. And where better to find shelter than near a group of humans who have fire? Fire is a powerful deterrent to most predators, and wolves would have learned this quickly. They'd approach the human campsite, perhaps howling to signal their presence, almost like a distress call. Humans, on the other hand, would have welcomed the wolves. They knew that wolves were fierce hunters themselves and could provide an extra layer of protection. Together, they could fend off the attacking predators. It was a mutual defense strategy that brought them closer. Over time, this cooperation became more frequent, and the relationship between humans and wolves evolved from one of caution to one of cooperation and even trust. In a world filled with danger, sometimes the best thing to do is to join forces with those who were once your enemies, even if they're just furry neighbors. Wolves are social animals, through and through. Their entire lives revolve around their packs, which are like tightly knit families. Everything they do, from hunting to raising their young, is centered around the pack. And when it comes to survival, the pack is everything. In a world where resources are scarce and danger is everywhere, having a strong pack is crucial. But sometimes, packs can face challenges. Maybe their territory is being threatened by a rival pack, or their food supply is dwindling. When this happens, wolves are forced to adapt and look for new opportunities. Ancient humans, with their unique skills and tools, presented a unique opportunity for wolves. Humans were different from any other animal wolves had encountered. They had fire, which wolves found fascinating, and perhaps even a little bit intimidating at first. But they also had the ability to hunt large prey effectively, which meant a more consistent food supply. Wolves, with their intelligence, would have recognized the potential in associating with humans. By joining forces, they could increase their chances of survival. And humans, with their need for protection and hunting assistance, would have welcomed the wolves. It started slowly, with wolves approaching human campsites more frequently. They'd watch from a distance, observing human behavior, learning their routines. Over time, they became more comfortable around humans. And the humans, in turn, started to see the wolves as more than just wild animals. They saw them as potential allies. Wolves, with their social nature, were able to form a bond with humans that went beyond just a mutual need for survival. They started to understand each other, communicating through body language and sounds. Humans learned to interpret wolf howls and behavior, and wolves learned to understand human gestures and commands. It was a unique and remarkable relationship, born out of necessity, but strengthened by mutual respect and understanding. And so, the wolves, driven by their social instincts, found a new place in the world, alongside their human neighbors. It was a partnership that would change the course of history, paving the way for the domestication of dogs and the deep bond between humans and canines that we still share today. In those early days, when wolves first began to venture near human campsites, it was a cautious dance of curiosity and fear. Wolves, with their keen senses, would have detected the humans from a distance. They'd catch the scent of the fire, the sounds of human voices, and the aroma of food. At first, it was all new and potentially dangerous, so they'd approach with extreme caution. They'd linger in the shadows of the forest, just out of sight, watching the humans go about their daily lives. Their ears would be perked, listening for any signs of danger, and their eyes would be fixed on the humans, studying their every move. It was like a game of cat and mouse, with the wolves always ready to bolt at the first sign of trouble. Humans, on the other hand, would have been wary as well. They knew wolves was predators. They knew wolves were fierce predators, and wouldn't have taken their presence lightly. They'd keep a close eye on the wolves, perhaps posting guards to make sure they didn't get too close. But over time, as they realized the wolves weren't attacking, they started to relax a bit. The wolves would slowly inch closer, one brave wolf perhaps taking the lead. They'd approach the campsite when the humans were busy or distracted, sniffing around the edges, looking for any scraps of food. If a human happened to glance their way, the wolf would quickly retreat, but returns later when it was safe. This back and forth continued for a while, as both species tried to figure each other out. It was a delicate balance, with each side testing the limits, trying to understand if this other being posed a threat or could be trusted. But slowly, through these tentative encounters, the foundation for a unique relationship was being laid. A relationship that would change the course of history for both humans and wolves. As the cautious encounters between wolves and humans continued, small moments of trust began to emerge. One day, perhaps, a human dropped a piece of meat too far from the campfire, and a wolf, overcome by hunger, decided to take the risk and snatch it. Instead of being attacked, the human simply watched, realizing the wolf was just looking for food. From that moment on, a connection was sparked. The wolf, satisfied with the meal, started to associate the human with a positive experience, and the human, seeing the wolf's behavior, began to see it as less of a threat and more of a potential ally. Over time, these interactions became more frequent. Wolves would come closer to the campsite, and humans would leave small offerings of food, almost like a peace offering. Wolves, with their intelligence, learned to recognize human gestures, understanding when it was safe to approach. And then, something remarkable happened. Humans, struggling to hunt large prey on their own, noticed the wolves' hunting skills. They saw how the wolves worked together, coordinating their attacks with precision. And so, humans started to communicate with the wolves, perhaps using sounds and gestures, asking for their help in the hunt. Wolves, eager to please and hungry for the reward of a shared meal, obliged. Together, they hunted, with humans using their tools and fire, and wolves using their speed and pack tactics. It was a perfect partnership. After a successful hunt, humans would share the food with the wolves, further cementing the bond between them. Through these shared experiences, trust was built. Wolves learned that humans could be trusted, and humans learned that wolves could be valuable partners. They started to rely on each other, communicating more effectively, understanding each other's needs. It was a beautiful example of cooperation and mutual benefit, showing that even the unlikeliest of allies can come together for a common goal. And so, the relationship between humans and wolves deepened, paving the way for a stronger, more lasting partnership. As trust between humans and wolves grew, their partnership became unbreakable. Wolves started to spend more time around human campsites, eventually living alongside them. They'd sleep near the fires at night, providing an extra layer of protection against other predators. Humans, in turn, welcomed the wolves, treating them almost like family. They'd share their food, making sure the wolves were well fed, and would even care for injured or sick wolves, nursing them back to health. During the day, they'd work together, with wolves helping humans track prey and protect the camp from danger. If a group of humans went out to hunt, they'd take their wolf companions with them, knowing they had a better chance of success with the wolves by their side. And when danger did strike, whether it was a pack of hyenas or a saber-toothed tiger, humans and wolves would fight together, side by side. Wolves, with their fierce loyalty, would protect the humans, even at the risk of their own lives. And humans, with their tools and fire, would provide the offense needed to drive back the attackers. This partnership wasn't just about survival, it was about mutual respect and understanding. Humans learned to appreciate the wolves' intelligence and strength, and wolves learned to trust humans' leadership and protection. Together, they thrived in a harsh world, showing that sometimes the strength of a partnership can overcome even the greatest of challenges. Over time, this relationship became the norm, with generations of humans and wolves living together, relying on each other for survival. And from these early partnerships, the domestication of dogs began, paving the way for the deep bond between humans and canines that we cherish today. It all started with those tentative first steps, those cautious encounters in the darkness of the ancient world, leading to a partnership that would change the course of history forever. Once wolves became partners with ancient humans, the impact was profound and far-reaching, touching every aspect of their lives. In terms of hunting, wolves transformed the game entirely. Their superior tracking skills, keen senses, and pack hunting tactics gave humans a significant advantage. With wolves by their side, ancient humans could locate prey more easily, anticipate their movements, and coordinate attacks with precision. No longer did they have to rely solely on their own limited abilities, chasing after swift deer or gazelle with only crude weapons. Instead, they worked together with the wolves, forming a formidable team. This meant higher success rates in hunts, ensuring a more consistent food supply for the community. From a safety perspective, wolves provided invaluable protection. Their presence deterred other predators, keeping saber-toothed tigers, bears, and hyenas at bay. At night, when danger lurked in the darkness, wolves stood guard, their keen hearing and alertness acting as an early warning system. Any potential threats were detected and dealt with swiftly, giving ancient humans a sense of security they had never experienced before. This allowed them to sleep more soundly, knowing they were safe from harm. Culturally, the relationship with wolves left a lasting mark. Wolves, with their intelligence and social structure, inspired awe and admiration in ancient humans. Their howls under the moon, their pack dynamics, and their hunting rituals became the subject of stories and legends, passed down from generation to generation. These tales formed the foundation of many ancient cultures, shaping their beliefs, rituals, and understanding of the natural world. The wolf, once seen as a fierce enemy, was now a respected and even revered figure, woven into the fabric of human society. It's no wonder that the bond between humans and wolves has persisted throughout history, influencing our perception of dogs and the animal kingdom as a whole. The unique partnership between wolves and ancient humans had a significant impact on wolves as well, shaping their survival, fanyan, and behavior. From a survival standpoint, associating with humans provided wolves with numerous benefits. They no longer had to spend as much energy hunting on their own, as they could rely on the scraps and offerings from human campsites. This meant a more consistent food supply, reducing the risk of starvation and increasing their chances of survival. Additionally, the protection provided by humans meant they were safer from other predators, reducing the threat of injury or death. In terms of fanyan, the increased survival rates meant that wolf populations could grow. With a more stable food supply and safer living conditions, female wolves were better able to raise their young, ensuring a higher survival rate for wolf pups. This, in turn, led to a healthier and more sustainable wolf population. Behaviorally, living alongside humans had a profound impact on wolves. They began to adapt to human routines and behaviors, learning to interpret human gestures and sounds. Over time, these wolves became more docile around humans, losing some of their wild instincts and aggression. This behavioral change laid the foundation for the eventual domestication of dogs, as wolves that were more comfortable around humans were more likely to be accepted and integrated into human societies. Their social nature, already strong in wolf packs, evolved further as they learned to interact with humans on a deeper level, forming a unique bond that went beyond just a mutual need for survival. It was a relationship that benefited both species, ensuring their survival and success in a harsh and unforgiving world. In the grand tapestry of human history, the unlikely alliance between wolves and ancient humans stands out as a remarkable chapter. Wolves, driven by the allure of food resources, found themselves drawn to human campsites. The scent of leftovers was too strong a temptation, and over time they learned to associate humans with a reliable meal source. Moreover, facing common enemies like saber-toothed tigers and packs of hyenas, both species realized the value of mutual defense. Wolves sought the safety of human fires, while humans welcomed the protection offered by these fierce hunters. Add to that the wolves' inherent social nature, which made them adaptable and open to forming bonds beyond their packs, and the stage was set for a unique partnership. This relationship had profound impacts on both sides. For ancient humans, it transformed hunting, making it more efficient and successful, with the wolves' superior tracking skills. Safety was greatly enhanced, as wolves deterred other predators, allowing humans to sleep more soundly at night. Culturally, the wolf became a symbol of awe and inspiration, woven into legends and beliefs. On the wolf side, survival rates increased due to the consistent food supply and protection from human allies. Their populations could grow, and behaviorally, they adapted to human life, becoming more docile and paving the way for domestication. This partnership was a testament to the power of cooperation and mutual benefit, showing how two seemingly disparate species could come together to thrive in a challenging world. The fascinating story of wolves and ancient humans serves as a powerful reminder of our intricate connection to the natural world. In modern times, as we continue to advance technologically and expand our cities, it's easy to forget our place in the greater ecosystem. But this ancient partnership tells us that humans and animals can coexist and even thrive when we work together. It challenges us to reflect on how we interact with the natural world today. Are we doing enough to protect and preserve the habitats of other species? Are we respectful of the intricate balance of the ecosystem, or are we disrupting it with our actions? The wolves and ancient humans showed us that cooperation and mutual respect can lead to a harmonious coexistence. We should strive to emulate this, understanding that every creature plays a vital role in the natural order. As we move forward, we must consider how we can foster more positive relationships with the animal kingdom. Whether it's through conservation efforts, ethical wildlife interactions, or simply a deeper appreciation for the natural world around us, we have a responsibility to ensure that we're not just taking from the environment, but also giving back. The legacy of the wolf and human partnership should inspire us to build a future where humans and nature can continue to thrive together in a mutually beneficial and respectful relationship.